Now, most of you already know that for the Q1 of 2023, Nio's guidance was to deliver vehicles of between 31 and 33,000, which of course we saw Nio actual deliveries coming at just over 31,000, meaning that of course they came close to, of course, to their lower guidance, which is something that of course it was a good thing to say that at least Nio delivered within their guidance. Now, ladies and gents, these of course are the deliveries, or they're just the over 31,000 vehicles which they deliver are the deliveries that Nio, ladies and gents, on the 9th of June they will be giving us their earnings based on those, of course, the deliveries which they reported, which is something that is incredible. So yes, today we received wonderful news of saying that Nio on the 9th, or in fact Nio on their official website just announced today that on the 9th of course June they will be giving us their Q1 earnings, which is something that of course it will be interesting to watch, because some of the important things on those earnings will of course be checking as to how far did Nio came with their revenues, and how close is Nio getting to profitability, and over and above that we want to see the margins which they reported for the Q1 of 2023. But one thing with the margins is that they are expected to be better, because, ladies and gents, the batteries, or the lithium battery prices in China have been declining ever since last year. So already we know that the gross margin will be better than last year's, or than Q4's gross margin, which is something that of course that is a very good thing. But another thing that is very important on those Q1 earnings, ladies and gents, is of course the guidance that Nio will give for their Q2 deliveries. I mean, by the time Nio report those, of course, earnings on the 9th of June, they will only be left with the June deliveries that will be the ones to conclude their Q2 delivery. So meaning that we will know the kind of deliveries that Nio expect to deliver for the month of June, as June will be the last or final month for Q2, as we already know, or we will already know the deliveries for, of course, May and April, which is something that is incredible. So the June deliveries, after those earnings, will know the kind of deliveries that are coming from June, and that those deliveries will be important, by the way, because Nio would have introduced another model that is the ES6, which is expected to do very well. They would have started to sell that model, because you will know that they are starting, or the plan is for them to start selling that model end of May, meaning that for the month of June we will see the deliveries of that ES6, which makes it very interesting to see, or to get to see the guidance that Nio will give on the 9th of June when they report their Q1 earnings. Now, before we forget the house rules, you already know that this video is just an entertainment video and not a professional financial advice video. Now, I really appreciate if you can just hit the likes button if you are enjoying this content that I'm giving you about Nio's reporting their Q1 earnings on the 9th of June. So if you are enjoying this kind of content, I'll really appreciate if you can just give this video a thumbs up, as it also helps with YouTube's algorithm. Otherwise, if you've not subscribed to the channel, I'll also appreciate if you can just hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell, so that at least you get notified on YouTube every time I drop a new content. So yes, well, like I said, one of the things, without wasting any more of your time, that is important is the total revenues they generated for Q1, is the earnings per share, okay, of course, for the Q1, is the gross margin that of course for the Q1, which of course for Q4 you'll know that the gross margins were very, very low, which was something that was not good. In fact, the gross margin for Q4, we saw that it was a single digit. So at least it would be good to see Nio reporting gross margin of at least double digits, which is something that will be amazing, and will be tracking that. Another thing, of course, want to see their cash and cash equivalents, as to want to see their cash at hand, to see if of course their liquidity is still strong. That is another thing that obviously it's very important. But obviously you will know that in the Nio's earnings, you will know that not only do they generate their revenues from the car sales, but they also have a Nio Life, or Nio Lifestyle, which of course it consists of their lifestyle products, which generates a couple of good millions, or constitute to some good millions in their, of course, earnings, which is something that obviously that will be so good to monitor that. But otherwise, another important thing that will be closely monitoring there is their Q to guidance, as like I said, we will know after those earnings the kind of deliveries that Nio expect to deliver for the month of June. So I'm very excited that Nio will be announcing their Q1 earnings on the 9th of June, because that day we are going to see or know the kind of deliveries that Nio, ladies and gents, will produce for the month of June. I mean, even if I personally believe that even if the maybe earnings themselves, that is the total revenues and the earnings per share, are not that good, and we get a good guidance, I think the share price is will definitely, of course, recover. That is something that I think yeah, we can look forward to, because the market also wants to see, or it's interested in the numbers that Nio will or is planning or targeting to deliver for Q2. So guidance are very important, because they will tell us if the ES6 is doing or is expected to do very well, especially after the official launch, where people will now place their orders, or their actual orders, which is something that will be amazing and incredible to see. So yes, today we received those news from Nio, or from Nio's official website, and knowing that Nio for Q1, ladies and gents, they deliver total vehicles of just over 31,000. Yeah, we know that revenue wise it will be lower than the revenue they generated in Q4, because Q4, you will know that Nio delivered over 40,000 vehicles. So we already know that revenue wise it's going to be lower than the revenue they reported in Q4. But something that will be very interesting is of course the gross margins, as in Q4 we saw the gross margin coming down to single digits. So it will be good to see the gross margin going back to double digit. This is something that I think so many of the new investors will also be monitoring. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought I'd just give you this quick update. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell, so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, that's all from me. And before you load the boat, increase your holdings, or buy Nio for the very first time before the earnings, please do make sure that you do your own due diligence, so that at least you can be comfortable when you are investing onto this stock. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey, and God bless you all.